people, thank y'all so much for tuning in. The 3 people that we have on here so far, thank y'all for being so prompt and joining us so quickly. My name is Xzavier Antonio, and pretty much every night that I get an opportunity to come into the studio space, different part of the building, to do some tests. If you've been noticing, I've been doing some video checks, some sound checks, and yesterday I had a few people here, and we were just testing how it would be to perform here. So I'll be sharing some of that footage with you guys at a later time. We have the 7 people. Come on in here then, people. You know what I'm saying? Tonight, what I wanted to do is I wanted to give you all an idea. It's not even a preview, but it's more of an idea to what Power Talks might look like. So there's so many different things with Power Talks, but one segment is going to be called a Power Sit Down. I have invited my very, very, very good friend, Mr. Jeffrey McAlister Jr. from Fashion Sense Conversations, is in the building tonight. He's going to help me have this dialogue. This particular dialogue is going to be dealing with the challenges that many people may face, many of us have faced, in fact, when it comes to being an entrepreneur. When it just comes to be an average working person in the workforce, working diligently to accomplish a goal, to take care of the family, to start a business, to buy a house, whatever it may be. You know, there are a lot of similar challenges that we all deal with. And so we'll probably be on here maybe 20 or 30 minutes just talking with Jeff. So again, man, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Jeff, man, say something to the people.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Saturday. Happy holidays. Hope everybody's doing well out here on this Saturday evening.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, let's do this. Some of you might not know this, but you know, Jeff is as famous as he is.
I don't know about that, but
as awesome as he is. First of all, this is my guy. This is my guy. It started out. I started out with an event called Pickup Lines and Poetry Night, and you know, I wasn't the best dresser, you know what I'm saying? And but I knew I wanted a next level event. And we was at 30, and we were at 3041, which is a facility that has been mainly used for you know, weddings and things like that. And so, and my whole brand was supposed to be about love. So I wanted to make sure that every time I stepped in, I looked like somebody's husband.
Right.
So I reached out to Jeff, who at the time I only briefly knew as a stylist, who came and kept me dressed, kept me, man, you know, I was able to get in maybe one of the best relationships I was ever able to have in my life thus far, and it may have been contributed to the fact that I dressed so well, you know what I'm saying? And so I would like to thank Mr. Jeffrey McAlister Jr. for that. Now, from that, we've been able to have so many great conversations about business. I think he has mentored me in some areas. There may be even been some times where I may have been able to help him.
Definitely.
Just chill out, Jeff. It's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna be okay. And so, just being able to do that, so we've definitely developed a relationship. I look at Jeff as like one of the pillars in my life and in my career pursuits. So, Jeff, let's just talk, just really quickly, a little bit about what you do and why you do it. You can go ahead.
Well, for those of you that don't know, I am the founder and owner of Fashion Sense, which is a styling brand. My tag is distinct, modern, and redefined. So it's a Fashion Sense brand that is there for rebranding how you look, preparing you for that special event. I work with models, photographers, pretty much anybody in building that up. And the basis of that is just basically that I love fashion. It's just something that's deeply rooted in me all the way back. I always tell everybody it goes back to my father, who instilled in me the importance of dress and appearance and how that adds to the character of who you are and makes you feel better about who you are. So I've just taken that to another level, and that's where Fashion Sense is.
Right, and so my understanding is not everybody has fashion sense.
No.
You know, but you know what? But one of the beautiful things about the fashion realm and the fashion world is there is room for creativity.
Yes.
There's room for you to figure out
Right.
what your identity is just in general, and to have your own style. And then what you may want a stylist for is somebody who can come along and take this identity that you've created and the style that you have and find a way to express it. Through fashion.
Yeah.
And that has to be difficult sometimes though, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you kind of hit it on the head, because it's not necessarily a stylist or someone like myself coming in and just saying, this is what you're going to look like. This is who you're going to be. We really have to listen to the individual and find out, okay, who they are, what they like, what they don't like, and really trying to find a middle road, because I do listen to the client, but I'm also going to try to push the client a little bit. I'm going to be like, well, I hear you, but at the same time, I'm thinking, let's maybe try this and let's just see how it works, And so it is kind of pushing people out of their comfort zone sometimes, in a meeting of minds, wills are, sometimes tested. But, at the end of the day, it's all about that client being confident in whatever look it is or whatever their new brand is, and just making sure they're happy with it, because if they're not, then they're not going to exude that anywhere at any time. So, but yeah, it is difficult. It can be real difficult.
Yeah. Well, I hope I haven't been too difficult. One of the things that I can say that I've always loved is, I'm the type of guy, I'm the type of person where I'm very honest, I think, about what it is that I need. I'm just in general, just in life. My friend Crystal Renee was over at my house one time. She looked around my room and she said, yeah, you're one of those guys that actually needs a woman. You know what I mean? And so I'm very honest about what it is that I need. So even when I was coming to you about styling me, I was just like, well, whatever you think looks nice, whatever you think, is going to do well.
Right.
And there may have even been times where, I don't know if he was joking or not, but there may have been some times where you suggested a certain thing, like, I don't know about that one, Jeff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, consider it, because it's Jeff. Jeff saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're serious, like, okay, well, cool, I'll try some stuff, because I don't always know what's going to be the best look. In terms of other things too, I might not always know what's best, and it's always good to kind of surround myself around experts. So when I get some real money, I'm probably going to be like this guy where somebody's taking care of everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like somebody, the only thing they can't do for me is sleep and eat for me. You know
right.
And that other word that people say. So just because, you know what I mean? Like I want to be on point, especially being a public figure. But anyway, what is... well, shout out to my cousin Arian Carter, who was tuning in, Lauren Faye, who's been a great help to me and great assistance to me. She's tuning in, and Miss Malia Janelle, you know what I'm saying, who is doing her thing, doing hair, was doing her thing, being a model and all of that.
Yep.
Did some stuff with us.
Yes.
Was facilitated a broadcast that we were doing at one point, and so shout out to her and anybody else who's watching. Jeff, I had some people here. Yesterday I had Jalen Rose, who's a singer. I had King Dan, who is a poet and rapper, entrepreneur. Jalen Rose is an entrepreneur as well. I had Nakisha Lee, aka Poetic Soul, who is a poet and entrepreneur. I had Altice Perry, aka Poetry. And of course I had my production guy here, Tom Malone, his fiance, Tavis was here. And so we decided to have a discussion about being entrepreneurs, and we didn't do it live. It was just kind of like a behind-the-scenes conversation. I wanted to give them an idea what Power Talks looks like, which generally looks like there been a question on the table. What's a challenge? What's something you're dealing with as an entrepreneur, or just period? And then trying to offer some advice that will help them, get over whatever those hurdles are. I didn't want to record it because it was their first time coming to the space. I just wanted them to know what it looked like.
Right.
And so now, moving forward, I thought, well, okay, well, maybe I can do a session tonight with you, or I could tell you what some of their challenges that was brought up, and maybe you and I can have quick discussions, some words of wisdom, advice that we would probably implement in a situation like that. But for starters, let's start with you. As you know, being where you are right now, what is something either recent that you're working on that has become a challenge that you've been trying to figure out? Let's talk about that for a second, Jeff.
Well, one recently that has become an issue for me, or a challenge that I'm working through now, is servicing my clients that don't live in the state of Wisconsin or don't live in the city of Milwaukee.
Okay.
So, and I have been very fortunate to now have clients that live out of state, and they want my services. And so what I have found is that what you lose is that in-person ability with someone.
Well, yeah.
And so the convenience of being able to go pick up some stuff, running over there, have them try it on, or hey, do you like this? I can run back, I can do it. And it really has challenged timelines as far as work and then turnaround time. And just recently I've had a client, and not that the client was a difficult client, but it was really, I'm finding things and zipping pictures, and here's where, this is what, do you want me to get this? Do you want to get it? How you want to do it? And it's like, well, I need to go try it on. Then if it doesn't work, then I'm back to the drawing board again. Whereas usually what I do is I can find stuff, take that stuff to them, and then let people try it on. Then they decide what they want, don't want, then run it back. So,
and this is a person that's out of state.
Yes, this is a person out of state. So then you're working with that because you got to work it within the timeline of that they need it.
Right.
And then so it also adds pressure depending upon when they call you to say they need this. So it's really now me looking at my business plan or my services. How do I effectively serve someone like this? So is it that I now need to really start developing relationships with designers, brands, stores out of state?
That is a great avenue right there.
Yeah. So I'm kind of solved it already just talking about it. But the other side of that I've been looking at as I research and I look at some of the other bigger stylists is at some point I'm going to have to build some type of inventory as well.
Yeah.
And then have signature inventory. Then that way, boom, I can just pull something right there and, have it ready to go. Maybe develop a better relationship with designers in the city to say, hey, look, if I get a out-of-town client and I call you, I need you to respond. I need you to be able to, and how would we make this work?
Right. And I would honestly say the greatest challenge of all, there are so many. Literally, when you step into entrepreneurial stuff and you're starting your own business, there are so many challenges. You got to learn the business. You got to learn the ins and outs of it. And then you even if you're not competing with other people that's operating in your industry, you are competing with the way that they deliver to their customers. And so it's always a challenge to figure out, how am I going to deliver this service? How am I going to deliver this particular product? And so the greatest challenge that I would say, I think for all of us, is that adapting. You know what I'm saying, just learning how to adapt and doing all of that. And so, because it's always a mental battle. It's always going to challenge your intelligence. And sometimes you got to step outside of your little corner of the world to reach out to people who know different things.
Exactly.
And get all of that different advice. So it's great. It's commendable that you have committed your life to this work. And there's a young lady, Miss Karen E. Long, and we've sat down and had conversations about just some of the things that she had to do. And she sells spices and sauces, and she's got her businesses, her products inside of actual stores. And how in the beginning, a lot of people didn't believe in her. A lot of people told her no, this, that, and the other. And when I hear her story, it really, I'm just like, man, I feel like I met somebody who I can connect with. The actual challenge of being an entrepreneur, the constant putting out fires, the constant jumping hurdles. It's like to meet somebody,
Right.
to know somebody who knows what that's like. You know what I mean? Because they have that experience. They've been doing it 5, 6, 10 years or so. That commitment in itself, even in your case, is very, very commendable. And so that's one of the things that has definitely, I think, made me respect you even more. That's why our conversations are always so dope to me, because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You've been there. Like, we don't know it all.
Right.
But I'm going to give you what I got.
Yeah.
Tell you what I do know, what I've been through. So it's commendable that here you are faced with this challenge. Okay, I've been doing this long. Now I have customers who have moved out of state, and then I want to expand my business, and to be able to accept that challenge, to say, let me figure this out. What are some things that I can be doing and things like that? Some people don't want to step out their box. Some people don't want to expand. So great that you've been able to do that and to solve that. So some of the issues that were brought up last night. One issue was a person basically saying that she understands advertising. She understands her craft. She understands what to do. She understands pricing, how much she got to pay for different things and to make things happen. She knows how to price herself and all of that. So these are all challenges that she has faced, the answers that she's been able to solve. But now she's at the point now, it's like, okay, now I know it all. Now how do I really get that money? And the problem now is the money to make it all happen. You know what I'm saying? So what are maybe some simple things, in your opinion, that a person might want to do when your only real issue is just the money?
Definitely, the simplest thing I think of is packaging it together and getting you some really good investors or someone that is willing to sponsor you for whatever the business is, or what that it is that you're trying to do. Because like if you get that one person that's going to put something up for you, then that's going to open the door for something else to happen for you. My own personal testimony, as you just know, recently I had a great opportunity presented to me, and based on relationship, based on kind of knowing my experience, my level of professionalism, and someone just basically put funds in my hands to create an event. It just doesn't happen every day. They're like, Jeff, this is your money. This is what you get to do with your budget. Anything that is needed outside of that budget, we've got it covered. But we know what you can deliver. And even though it hasn't happened yet, but it's opened another door to another opportunity, because someone else heard about what I was doing with this particular sponsor, and now they're like, hey, we're thinking about doing the same thing. So it's like when you make that one connect with that one person who's willing to take that chance, and it's all about, and if she has everything laid out and has the plan put together, I say knock on somebody's door that you have some type of relationship with that's going to be willing to put that up for you.
Yep. So that is great advice. And that second part where you talk about how you got that one connect, somebody you knew what you was doing, is going to go into maybe the second question I'm going to ask you. But to piggyback off of what you're saying, putting that package together, putting that business plan together, being able to make those proposals, because there are people who are looking to spend money. It's like, where do you find those? So we got to determine, like, how do we find those investors? Maybe it's friends, maybe it's people we know. There's people we know that know people who have what we need, but it's always going to start with that vision. Things have to be in black and white. What is it that you want to do? What are you trying to do? How do you plan to do it? And how much money you need? So even that requires a lot of research. And I think as entrepreneurs, a lot of times we just have great ideas. And oftentimes we'll go through a million ideas because this idea didn't work, this idea didn't work, this idea didn't work, because we didn't know how to properly plan. And then in some cases we just don't have the experience to know how to deal with certain situations, and we don't have. But a lot of that can be solved with researching properly. So getting with a business consultant, even like myself, getting with someone who knows how to research and find the answers that you need that can help you package that thing in a way that's at least presentable. So you can present this thing over and over and over, and don't stop presenting it to people until you get to where you need, and what you get out of that. You know what I'm saying? At that level. And you talk about yourself. You've packaged yourself together so well. Now here it is, someone somewhere has been seeing you being consistent and like, hey, we got an idea, we want to do something. Oh, that's the guy to reach out to. So one of the second challenge that I heard last night, one of the guys that was with us, he brought up how he has these ideas, he has these companies, but he hasn't put them out there yet because he's trying to figure out how to get the community of people that he's connected to involved. Now, one of the first things that I noticed when he said it was he didn't put it out there yet because he wasn't ready. And I thought to myself, well, that's an issue because if I want to, prime example, people came to you, or these people came to you because they saw your consistency. I mean, and let me rephrase that. Maybe not because they saw your consistency, but because they consistently saw you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doing what you do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes
Exactly.
consistency goes unrecognized.
Right.
But, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people might not sit down like, oh, you've been so consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But people might say, hey, man, you've been doing a lot of work in this area. And a part of, so our company is a PR company. And a part of our job is to make a client be viewed as the expert or the authority on a particular subject, product, or service. It's that consistency that makes you be viewed like that by the public or by potential partners and investors as the expert. And so the guy, it's kind of like, he was talking about he hadn't put it out there. He was like, well, you got to get started. A lady, a beautiful life. Her name on Facebook is Ebony Crosby, A Beautiful Lifestyles, who does my locks. I'm sitting in the chair with her while she's doing my locks for the first time. And I get a call from another young lady, and she's like, hey, what you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm, getting my locks done. Oh, I could have did that. And so I told her, I was like, well, I ain't gonna tell her this later. I'm gonna tell her right now because I'm a pretty bold person. I said, well, I know you do locks, or I know you've said you do locks, but I don't consistently see content from you of you doing locks. You know what I mean? And so there's this guy that I know didn't have a barber license, but every day you go by a shop, you would see him cutting hair. He would literally pull people off the street to cut their hair, and he would do it for free. He said, well, A, of course I'm doing it for free because I need to learn and get good at it because I don't know what I'm doing. But secondly, I want people to see me as a barber, and the only way they're going to see me as a barber if they see me barbering. You know what I mean? And so people have to consistently see you working in that area. I don't care what level you working at. You might not be able to get the big corporations. Whatever it is, whatever product or service that you want to provide, you need to be doing it for somebody. You need to be doing it consistently. And so that's that. So, I kind of long-winded. So with the second challenge, let's talk about, I'm going to go into the third challenge. That'll be it, and, we'll end this live. Third challenge that was brought up that a person as an entrepreneur was facing was advertisement. So she felt as if the advertisement that she was doing on social media was not really being effective. I think that her targeting or the way that she, and we didn't clarify this last night, but I think one of the main things that people do is they target or they advertise on Facebook using their personal profiles, which has some pros to it, but which may also have some cons to it. And so I'll kind of get into that in a second. But any thoughts from you in terms of advertising? Anything that's worked for you, or that you tried that didn't work for you, that we can kind of turn into advice in that kind of situation?
Well, definitely what has worked for me with advertising is getting the separate Facebook page. So I have my personal Facebook page and I have the Fashion Sense Facebook page, which you helped me set up. So I have to give you your pub for doing that. So he is actually, everybody, he's actually helped me fine tune some things. It's kind of like, dude, let me just sit down and just do this so we get this done for you. So, and he's developed this great website that has not been launched yet, but he's the one. So I'm just putting that out there as well.
Inbox me for prices.
Yep. So, I think, maybe as you said, setting up those separate Facebook pages and Instagram pages and so forth for me is what really worked. Also, for me, what really helped was getting clients and customers that would tag posts, referrals, and things, that added to it as well. So, I mean, for me, and then I'm always trying to post something. So it's just, I guess we have to look at what she's doing, what she's not doing there. and really hone in on that. So that's what it is for me. I think prior to that, I didn't have a lot of challenge. I can't say that there was something that just wasn't working for me, but I do think moving off of and just having everything on Facebook, you know.
You're just blessed like that.
Yeah, whatever. I don't. You know.
Not too many challenges.
Right. You know, it's just.
You know what I'm saying?
But just the consistency of it, just always having content to put out there. So, and she may have to look at what it is that she's exactly putting out there. It may not even be the fact that it's the paid advertisement issue. It may be just what she's putting in her advertisements that could be affecting it as well. So that may be something that she need to do, is reevaluate what is her content that she's paying to put out there.
Yeah, so I definitely think that that's important. The quality of the content, man, it is so. There is a lot of content that gets posted by entrepreneurs that's just horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like the quality of the flyer is just horrible. We know you made this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No experience. And I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do. But it is gonna always be more valuable to you to put out to spend that money. To spend that money with somebody who does graphic designs, who can put together flyers for you. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to learn how to do it yourself to save money, pay them some money to teach you. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go sit by your friend's house to see what they doing and now you finna go do it.
Right.
Give them something, you know what I'm saying, for showing you the ins and outs of it. You know, you get in front of it and you work your own thing. Definitely get that. The quality matters. Then also, I'm going to say, where you post matters as well. Now, posting on your personal profile, I'm doing that a lot more lately, you know what I'm saying? But I care more about what I post on my business page. And that is because I have more control because I invest in the paid advertisements. I have more control over who I'm targeting, how often I'm targeting them. It can be very, very detailed, but the biggest thing is the data that's collected from that and the ability to re-engage people who you know for a fact have engaged with your content before. Now I do this through paid advertisement. I use business tools. So if anybody engages with my content, they get grouped into a certain list. And then I'm able to re-engage that particular target list. You know what I mean? I'm able to develop new campaigns to reach new artists. So paid advertisement is definitely the way to go. I know a lot of us don't like it. I know a lot of we see stuff. We see as soon as we know it's an ad, we just hurry up and scroll back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why they targeting me? I'm over here talking about caramel cake, and now I'm saying advertisements caramel cake. You know what I'm saying? But that is the world we live in. I personally think we should be more accepting of that, and you always have the option to hide ads from a certain advertisement. I don't want to see this no more. I don't like this company. I don't like what they stand for. I don't want this product. We can always hide ads from those people. You know what I mean? But there may be actually things out there that we do want or that we do like or that we might want to save for later. I think we should, be more accepting of it, but that's coming from personal advertising. I want you to see my product. I want you to buy it. You know what I'm saying? My service or whatever. So anyway, but there are things that I could do to re-engage people who specifically are interacting. And people are not going to interact with your stuff right away. I mean, people aren't always going to, even the people who interact with it, aren't going to always buy a ticket. They're not always going to buy the product or buy the service right away. But you have to consistently engage that audience until you feel like you've engaged. If there's 10,000 people in this target audience, well, I've engaged this 10,000 people 30 times in the last 6 months. Those who didn't engage that's where you're able to make that determination. Those who didn't engage are seriously not interested. Okay, I can stop targeting them now. They don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I can come back around next year to try to target that audience of people. Maybe I could put some more interesting faces in front of it when I got the money to do so. You know, you gotta always be creative. Now, on a personal profile, you can do the same thing. In terms of developing lists to re-engage people. I mean, it's more work. You got to sit in front of there. It's just like Instagram. Facebook is just like Instagram. If you want that client and that client base, you have to engage with people, talk to people, and all of that. But I say, if you post about your business and only 2 people hit the like button, those 2 people need to go into a data spreadsheet. You know what I'm saying? At least their names and maybe the link to their profile so that you know that these is people who I should be maybe inboxing about the product. They might not be ready to buy the service or buy the product right now or come to the event right now, but out of the 5,000 friends I got, these 2 people took out the time to hit the like button.
Right.
So those people are now more important than the other 4,998 people on my list, and even my mama is in that 4,900. These 2 people are now more important when it comes to that business. Why? Because now I need to make sure these are the people who I'm establishing a relationship.
Right.
Even if you don't buy the product, I need to be going through your page and see what you're talking about. I need to be, if I see something I like, I need to be liking your stuff. I need to be having some type of, conversation with you. I can talk about the product. Maybe we're not ready right now, but to establish some relationship. Maybe this person got something going on that I might want to celebrate. It might even be their birthday. Even if it's their birthday, I need to be saying happy birthday to you.
Right.
I sing you a whole song.
Right.
If the name of my business is, I don't know, Saxophone Industries, I need to be sending them a video or something saying, hey, happy birthday from Saxophone Industries. It's, about, building that relationship. So it's still things that you can do on that personal profile. I just like to add that paid ads because I don't always have the time to really see
Right.
that. So really just getting into that, and so that is the advice for that third challenge. So let's end it. I think this was a good preview for people to kind of get an idea of what a power sit down might look like on the Power Talk show. So let's do 2 things before we get out of here. Let's talk just real briefly, Jeff, talk about what's coming with your talk show that you're going to be doing called Fashion Sense Conversations. And then let's give the people maybe some last words of inspiration, and then we're out here.
Okay. So as was mentioned, I'm working on a project, my show, Fashion Sense Conversations. What that will be is all things fashion. So it's going to be conversations directed at models, the modeling industry. Are you fit for being in the modeling industry? What area of the modeling industry? Conversations with photographers, designers, stylists, their craft, what they look for. Having them sit down in a forum and share their thoughts, their good thoughts, their bad thoughts, experiences with each other, to provide more information and insight to the industry for those that share this same type of passion. Different conversations just about hard-hitting issues within the industry as far as plus-size models, just different things, diversity in the industry. So that's what we will have to look forward to with Fashion Sense Conversations. We may go down and pull someone off the street and say, hey, let's style you. Let's do a makeover on Fashion Sense Conversations. So just pull somebody in, work with them, and just, reshape their look and see what happens to them. So because we want it to be about the industry, but we also want it to be a transformation and life-changing as well.
Awesome. And any last words real quick of inspiration?
I'll just say this for everybody out there, for all the entrepreneurs out there, no matter what you're trying to do, you have to focus on it. You have to keep that drive every single day. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. And what you have to do, you just have to know how to pivot. You just have to know how to pivot. I've had to do 3 major pivots within a week and a half with one project. And externally, you would have never known. Internally, you would have seen me like I was swinging on some trapeze. But you just have to know how to land on your feet, regroup, and move on, because you have to look at the bigger picture. And you can't let the little obstacles stumble and trip and make you fall on your face all the time. And one of the things I always like to say, and I say this over and over again, remember that you are your brand, you are your product 24 hours a day. So whatever it is, you need to be that 24 hours a day. It's just not picking and choosing when you want to be. You have to be it 24 hours a day. That's it.
And my little last words of encouragement is, picking back off of what Jeffrey McAlister Jr. just said is, you are your next power move. If for some reason you get tired, you're dealing with whatever you're dealing with, if you don't continue to take the steps to get to the steps that are going to take you to where you need to be, you'll never get there. You have to take those steps. It's one thing to have faith, it's one thing to have hope, but that faith and that hope has to be turned into action. Do your research, find out what are the steps that I really need to be taking. And you can definitely reach out to me. There may be a question I may be able to answer for you via inbox, or maybe something I might set up a whole conversation with, dialogue either with you on a format like this, or might bring some other professionals that I know in to deal with the subject or the topic. So again, you are your next power move. This is just a preview of what Power Talks might look like. This is what I would call a power sit down, where I sit down with successful or aspiring professionals and we talk about whatever it may be, a challenge, some challenges, or whatever the case may be. So that's really it. I'm gonna play a little bit of our theme song, and then we're pretty much out of here. Anybody who tuned in, anybody who hit the like button, the love button, anything like that, thank you so much. There is so much more to come. Y'all have a awesome